Crockett's opinion of a thunderstorm. Folks may talk and crow as much as they can about the roar of Niagara and growling of the sea and the barking of them big old iron bulldogs called cannons, but give me a whole team of storm-brewed thunder, and your other natural music is no more than a penny trumpet and the hand organ of a hurricane. By the great being above, a regular round roaring savage peal of thunder is the greatest treat of all creation. It sets everything but a coward and a darn culprit shouting in the very heart and soul till both of them swell so eternal big in natural glorification that one feels as if he could swallow the whole creation at a gap, hug the whole universe at once, and then go to sleep in its entire nature, so full of thunder glory that he'll wake up with the head of an entire electrical machine, and his arms a teetotal thunderbolt. Just give me a touch of this sort of old natural music before I go to sleep another night, or to wake up and feel a bump of my venerable of my old Manny Nader and old Big Mountain. But I can keel down and hug old Mississippi, bust a big rock, and feel strong enough to do the duty of an entire sawmill. The Colonel swallows a thunderbolt. There are a great many kids in learning, I found out when I was in Congress. They are in mathematics and their geometries and your significance and your alteracy. I knows nothing about those yonder ones, but excentricity is a screamer. There were a fellow in Washington that put a thunder and lightning into glass bottles, and then a feller had the rheumatiz and St. Vital's dance. Well, he could put on anxiolyty into his corpse just like pouring whiskey into a powder horn, and it cured him as clean as a bark tree. So I seed how 'twas done, and enterarmed whenever anything altered me to try. Only I didn't care for the bottles, for I was a short and I could just as well make lightning with straw state and come from the clouds. I had been used to drink out of the Mississippi without a cup, and so I could taste the lightning without the bottles and whirligigs that belongs to the excentricity machine. It fell out that some 2 years arter have been had seen this electricity. I got a little of love in the pesky smart gal in our clearing, and I knowed it was not right, seeing I war a married man. So I combobulated on the subject, and at last I resisted what I could exemplificate my passions of Alaxcity. So it must be done by bringing it right to the heart and driving the love out of it. So I went into the forest one afternoon, and then there was a persiflage thunder gust. I opened my mouth, and all that electricity might run down and hit my heart to cure it from love. I stood for an hour, and then I see the thunderbolt coming, and I dodged my mouth right under it. Plump it went in down my throat. My eyes, that were 7 buffaloes, were kicking in my bowels. My heart spun around amongst the insides like a grindstone growing to sting. But I listened, it went clean through me, and tore my trousers clean off as they come out. I had a sore gizzard for about 2 weeks afterward, and my innards were so hot that I used to eat raw victuals for a month afterwards, and it would be cooked before it barely got down my throat. I never have felt love since. Crockett's morning hunt. One January morning it was all sewn up cold that the forest trees were so stiff that they couldn't shake. On the very daybreak these fast it was wired trying to bond. The tinderbox in the cabin would no more fetch fire than a sunk raft in the bottom of the sea. Seeing that daylight were so far behind time, I thought creation were a fair way to season fast. So, thinks I must be strike a little fire with my fingers and light my pipe between I get a few leagues and see about it. Then I brought my knuckles together like 2 thunderclouds, and sparks froze up before I could begin to collect them. So I walked out and endeavored to keep myself from freezing by going a hop, step, and jump, and gait, and whistling a tune of Fire in the Mountains as I went along with 3 double quick time. Well, Arda had walked about 25 miles up the peak of DayBreak Hill, and soon I discovered what was the matter. I had taken a frizz last night on our axis, and I couldn't turn around. The sun had gotten jammed between 2 cakes of ice under the wheels, and there had been shinning working to get loose, till the frizz fast and quit sweat. Creation, I thought. This is the toughest sort of suspension, and it must have been endured. Something must have been done. or human creation done for. It war then so antediluvian and premature cold that upper and lower teeth and frozen were that collapsed together as tight as a frizz oyster. I took a fresh 20-pound bar off my back and picked up a road and beat the animal again till the ice was hot and began to walk on him on all sides. Then I took and held him over the earth's axis, and squeezed him over till I thought him loose, and poured about a ton of it over the sun's face, and give the earth cogwheel a one kick backwards till I got the sun loose. Whistled, push along, keep moving. About 15 seconds, the air began to grunt and began to moving, and the sun walked up beautiful, saluting me with such a wind of gratitude that it made me sneeze. I lit my pipe by the blaze of his top-knot, shouldered my bear, and walked home, introducing the people to fresh daylight with a piece of sunrise in my pocket, with which I cooked my bear steaks and enjoyed one of the best breakfasts I had tasted for some time. If I didn't just wake up this morning, I'd go with me to the office at sunrise.